Ascension into the ethereal, my singer-songwriter career so far. Introduction. My artist name is Ethereal UK and I am an award-winning Swedish-born Thai autistic trans singer-songwriter. I specialise in a concoction of psychedelic folk and dreamy pop, and I'm well known amongst my fans and followers for my haunting head voice, reminiscent of artists such as Anohni The Johnsons, Radiohead, Sadé and London Grammar, to name a few. So far I have released several albums via Bandcamp, been signed to a New York label, won an Original Music Award for Belief and Strength earlier this year, busked in several places around the nation, as well as Hamburg in Germany, and my current single The Ghost of Love and debut album is doing well on Spotify. I'm currently recording my next studio album, Spectral, and my next single, Forbidden Pals, will have come out on the 15th of November. Disclaimer. Firstly, I hope my journey as a musician and singer-songwriter so far can inspire others who are just starting out, especially those who are autistic and trans. I've chosen to leave out the names of most people I've worked with, as well as places, because I can get quite sentimental about my past, especially regarding those who are no longer in my life. However, if anyone is curious or wants to know more, I'm open to sharing. To quit or not to quit? Let's start with this part first. There have been countless times I've thought about quitting music, yet during those moments when I needed a break, I always returned to my passion. I've been fortunate enough to host open mic nights and showcases, and I've even interviewed other singer-songwriters for my YouTube channel, Perfect Promotions. Activities like busking, sharing my cover versions and releasing singles have kept me motivated. How it all began. Ignoring the more mundane details, like I apparently started singing at age 2 and that I come from a slightly musical background, my musical journey began as a dancer for my brother's skate punk covers band. I took a 5-year hiatus from music before picking up the guitar to get my fingers accustomed to pressing down the strings. My unofficial journey as a musician truly began while studying for my fine art degree at university. There I was heavily influenced by a fellow student and friend who had just started his own band. Before that, I had been a live music enthusiast, attending shows of well-known and local bands since my early teens, including bands like Black Sabbath, Asian Dub Foundation, and Rage Against the Machine. As someone on the autism spectrum, I tend to be more sensitive to sound and light these days, which is why I prefer to check out singer-songwriters and bands performing at the same venues as me. As an autistic person, I never felt that being an artist was sufficient enough for expressing myself verbally and physically. I eventually realised that I could achieve more as a musician and singer-songwriter. Open mic nights and beyond. And now for something completely different. A heavy bearded man clad in leather introduced me on stage at a pub with a whimsical decor reminiscent of Jethro Tull Pixies and Fairies. The lighting was sultry, creating the perfect atmosphere for me to share my songs and voice. That night was unforgettable. I had met several Greek friends prior to that, as well as someone that night who was a mutual friend of my friend from my art course, and I still keep in touch with him today. I'll never forget my first performance. Between the ages of 18 and 21, I made the choice to try and pursue music seriously. I tried out a few open mic nights and even attempted to form a band, but we only managed a few rehearsals. One night I attended an event organised by a friend where his band was the headliner. I met an Asian guy there who had collaborated with after answering his ad at our student union after about a year or two beforehand. Although I wasn't keen on his guitar playing, he invited me to join his band along with 3 other people, and I accepted. A band I'll never forget. After 2 years together, the drummer and I noticed that our bandmates wanted to focus on their studies. The drummer and I continued to meet regularly to share demos, even though he was not very confident in his singing and songwriting at the time. He had a friend who learned bass for our band, and we recorded our demos on a Tascam Porter Studio tape recorder. During this time, the drummer and one of his flatmates worked at a local bar where we organised our own open mic and live music showcase nights featuring mainly local acts. We had come a long way as a band, playing various gigs including house parties. However, the end of our degree brought financial complications and the need to return to our hometowns. While I was determined to keep the band going, we ultimately decided to call it quits after our last show together. A new chapter. After reflecting on my life and realising that I needed more knowledge to further my music career, I took on various jobs, including bar work, retail and teaching. I enjoyed teaching, but the other jobs left me feeling unfulfilled and miserable. For 4 years, I put my dreams of becoming a musician and singer-songwriter on hold, feeling stuck in a cycle of monotony. Eventually, like a phoenix rising from the ashes, I knew I needed to make changes. My brother, who tried to support me during this rough period, gifted me a second-hand acoustic guitar and encouraged me to play again. For 4 years, I had convinced myself that music was no longer for me, but I felt lost without it. Busking became a new outlet for me, helping me meet new friends and reconnect with the local music scene. I formed a band with my brother and 2 friends, though it didn't take off as I had hoped. My brother encouraged me to revisit the music I created during my university days, but my heart wasn't in it anymore. Continuing the journey. Despite my earlier setbacks, I was invited by a friend to host an open mic night in London. I kept that dream alive for 2 months before moving to Bournemouth. There I discovered an established singer-songwriter and busker who inspired me to pursue my dream. During this time, I faced discouragement from someone I considered a close friend, but I took a break from music to regroup. Eventually, I returned to my roots, transitioning from misinterpreted to Yuri Calvert music. I utilised platforms like Facebook, SoundCloud and Reverb Nation to promote my music. Facebook helped me to look and apply for gigs. SoundCloud allowed me to upload my demos, and while my experience with Reverb Nation was average, I did meet a producer and singer-songwriter who became a close friend. After a few months of busking together and playing shows as a duo, we finally got a dance rock band together, combining backing tracks and live instruments. Again, this only lasted for 2 years, and even though it became exhausting, every second was worth it. During that 2 years with that band, I had rediscovered myself as ethereal, after a friend introduced me as such at one of his live music showcase notes, and then when I was signed to a US record label, the UK had to be added on after Ethereal, as there are other singer-songwriters and bands who use the same name. Ethereal UK has been an ongoing work of progress since, but at least it's taken me since the age of 12 to find that genuine voice and style of music that rings true to me and nobody else. and I've gotten this far without an agent or a manager. I can't express enough how grateful I am for such supportive friends, fans, followers and family along the way. Join me on this journey. What's your passion? Have you ever thought about quitting but found a way back? Let's chat in the comments.